We live in interesting times. Today's stories. In Indonesia, there is massive destruction after a quake tsunami in Palu. Iraqi Kurdistan struggles to rebuild tattered economy. Protesters marched to the U.S. Senate against Kavanaugh's confirmation.
We will remember that my daughter will have that unhinged ache, that a woman's pain and suffering is not worth it, that women won't be believed.
Amal Clooney appeals to Suu Kyi for reporters' release.
This case is about much more than just two innocent men. I mean, if you care about press freedom, you care about this case because it sets a precedent.
Plus, the Iglesia Ni Cristo and the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation's Blood Drive helps the Long Beach community. Hello everyone, I am Rose Papa Angeles bringing you stories from around the globe. And this is Eagle News, Washington, D.C. The city of Palu in Indonesia's central Sulawesi province is devastated by a tsunami after it was hit by a strong 7.5 earthquake and aftershocks. Officials said Saturday nearly 400 people were killed when a powerful quake sent a tsunami barreling into the Indonesian island of Sulawesi as hospitals struggled to cope with hundreds of injured and rescuers scrambled to reach the stricken region. The National Disaster Agency put the official death toll so far at 384, all of them in the tsunami-struck city of Palu, but warned the toll was likely to rise. It added some 540 people were badly injured. In the city, home to around 350,000 people, partially covered bodies lay on the ground near the shore the day after 5-feet tsunami waves came ashore. The disaster agency said there were also concerns over the whereabouts of hundreds of people preparing for a beach festival that had been due to start Friday evening. The influx of injured overwhelmed hospitals, with many people being treated in the open air, while other survivors helped to retrieve the remains of those who died. One man was seen carrying the muddy corpse of a small child. The tsunami was triggered by a strong quake that brought down buildings and sent locals fleeing for higher ground as a churning wall of water crashed into Palu, where there were widespread power blackouts. The oil-rich Iraqi region of Kurdistan is struggling to rebuild its economy a year after an ill-fated independence referendum that Baghdad deemed illegal. A massive yes vote in the September 2017 plebiscite provoked a furious backlash by the central government, turning a long-cherished dream of the Kurds into an economic nightmare.
بەدەم چەند ساڵی پێشتر پێشەم وەزعی خەیرانە کە هاتووەمانە ئەم توانی ئیشکەم ئەگەر کرێکاریش وایە ئەم کرد ئیشی کارەبا لەگەڵ هاوڕێکانمان لە دەرەوەی دائیرە و ڕۆژانێکی کە لە ماڵم ئەمان کرد هەچوانێ بێ گوزەرانمان پێی ئەڕۆی یانی ژیانمان پێی ئەڕۆی بەڕێ بەڵام وەڵا ڕاستێتی وتی اقتصادەکە بۆ نەوەڵا ژیان پێی ناڕەوە بەس تەنها مەسەلە ماوەتە داوامەکە بەس ڕاتبەکە چاوەڕێی ڕاتبەکەم و کەوا هەر چاوەڕێم ڕاتبەکەش جاری وەگاتە 50 ڕۆژ جاری وا بگەشتێتە 6 ڕۆژ ئێستاوە ئەخیر مەعاش کە دوێنێ پێرێ دراوە بەلایانی کەمە چ ڕۆژی خایانوە نەوت گرانە لە زستانە نەوت نییە هەنی هەشتەکانی کە ئەلین لە زستانیشا هەندێشتی دەرەچێتە سەرۆزەکان لە زستانە نەوتی پێویستە ئێمە لە وڵاتێکیان بەڕاستی ژێرخانی ئەم وڵاتە هەمووی نەوتە.
Federal forces retook oil fields, depriving the mountainous northern enclave of its economic lifeblood, while Baghdad also imposed a 6-month air blockade. And in another blow, Iraq's parliament in March passed a budget that saw Kurdistan's slice of the federal cake drop from 17% to less than 13%. Outmaneuvered, Kurdish lawmakers boycotted the vote. But the Kurds are now gearing up for another poll, an election on Sunday for the regional parliament. The local economy and relations with Baghdad top the agenda.
حوالي 100-200 شركة دا يسجل شركات جديدة بها خارجية وبها داخلي، يعني الشركات المحلية، وأيضا الشركات اللي راحت من إقليم كردستان في الأزمة اللي صارت من قبل هسه بدأوا يتراجعون إلى إقليم كردستان، وخاصة الشركات النفطية والشركات المستثمرة. الوضع الاقتصادي للإقليم راح يتحسن، والعلاقات إقليم كردستان بدول الجوار يكون أحسن من قبل، وحتى مع الحكومة العراقية، لأن وضع الحكومة العراقية لحد حاليا ليس أحسن من وضع الإقليم، بالعكس الوضع الإقليم كردستان سياسيا أحسن وحتى اقتصادي.
حکومەتی هەرێم لەو مووقعدا زیاتر مەشغەڵەتێکی زۆرتری هەبوو کە موچە دابین بکە و موچە لە کاتی خۆیان دابین بکات لەو کاتێکە هەموو ئەو هەنگاوانەی گرتە بەر لە کەمکردنەوەی موچە و پاشەکەوتکردنی موچەدا. بۆیە بەڕای من لە سەردەمی قەیراندا حکومەتی هەرێم هیچ گرنگیە یاخود هیچ پلانێکی نەبووە بۆ بوژانەوەی کەرتی تایب.
Up next, protesters marched to the U.S. Senate against Kavanaugh's confirmation. Amal Clooney appeals to Suu Kyi for reporters' release. Eagle News Washington, D.C. will return in a moment. Welcome back. You're watching Eagle News, Washington, D.C. Protesters marched from the Supreme Court to Senate office buildings, demanding senators vote against the confirmation of Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh.
I believe that putting pressure on our senators is the only option that we have right now. This entire process has been so crooked from the beginning because the Republicans have been pressing just to get him confirmed. This man does not belong on our court.
I am old enough that I can tell you that I've already been through this fight. I feel as if that Roe versus Wade is very much on the line here. I'm terrified. I have daughters. I hopefully will have granddaughters at some point. I don't want to see coat hangers and back alley abortions come back into this country. Also, I don't love the idea of a Supreme Court justice that is obviously so political and one that has made his claims in front of everyone. They're supposed to be, I mean, we know some are more liberal, some are more conservative, but they're supposed to be fair-minded.
To understand that there is a political party that can look at Dr. Ford and her testimony and say, screw you, I don't believe you, we're going to put that man who did that to you on the highest court of the United States is unbelievable.
It's literally a tragedy for our country. It's unimaginable in the year 2018 that we are even at this point. It's a crisis for our country.
FBI! We don't believe the lies! Call the FBI! The Senate Judiciary Committee announced Friday it would ask President Donald Trump's administration to order a fresh FBI background investigation into Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, who has been accused of sexual assault while he was 18. The move signaled that Senate Republicans have agreed to put off a final vote on the conservative judge's confirmation for another week, as Democrats have demanded. The announcement came after a key Republican Senator, Jeff Flake, suggested he would withhold his support for Kavanaugh unless Trump ordered a new probe into the judge's background.
Tell me what misogyny is that quote!
Prominent human rights lawyer Amal Clooney appealed to Aung San Suu Kyi on Friday over a pardon for two Reuters journalists imprisoned in Myanmar, saying the Nobel laureate hold the key to their release. The two fathers accused of breaching Myanmar's state secret law while reporting on a massacre of Rohingya Muslims were jailed for 7 years earlier this month, fueling international outrage. Clooney said the journalists' families had already submitted a request for their pardon, adding that the president can grant a pardon following consultation with Suu Kyi. The British-Lebanese lawyer told an event dedicated to press freedom on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly the government can, if it wants to, end it today. She held de facto leader Suu Kyi to her stated priority of releasing prisoners of conscience and of having spoken of the need for a free press if the country is to transition to a full democracy. Clooney said Suu Kyi knows that mass murder is not a state secret and that exposing it doesn't turn a journalist into a spy. Earlier this month, Suu Kyi defended the jailing of 30-year-old Wallon and 28-year-old Kyaw Soe Oo, hitting back at global criticism of a trial widely seen as an attempt to muzzle the free press. Clooney recalled that when she was a student at St. Hugh's College, Oxford, the Nobel Peace Laureate, who studied at the same college 30 years earlier, had been a hero to me.
You know, if you look at the speech that Aung San Suu Kyi made when she received the Nobel Peace Prize, she said, "I am here because I was once a political prisoner." And her message was, one political prisoner is one too many, and she asked people to help political prisoners wherever they may be. Well, that's exactly the message that we have to her now, is to say, you know, we have hope that you will do the right thing in this case, because these are not ideas that are being imposed on you. These are your own principles that you've espoused. You know, you fought for so many years to be freed from the same prison where they now sit. And now you have the power to actually remedy this injustice today, if you wanted to. This case is about much more than just two innocent men. I mean, if you care about press freedom, you care about this case because it sets a precedent. So if these people are locked up, then other people are too scared to do the kind of reporting that they do. And the kind of reporting that they do is important for all of us because it tells us what's going on in the world. And it's, you know, without a free press, you cannot have democracy because you don't know how to judge what your government's doing. It was about a week ago, so the two wives of the journalists have submitted a really heartfelt letter just saying, look, we know that our husbands have not done anything wrong. And as you know, Kyaw Soe Oo has a 3-year-old daughter. At the prison, it's all divided by glass. So, you know, the only time he's been able to see and touch his family members has actually been during the trial proceedings themselves. And Wallon has become a first-time father and never met his baby.
Suu Kyi, once garlanded as a global rights champion, has come under intense pressure to use her moral authority inside Myanmar to press for a presidential pardon for the reporters. The case, which sparkled an international outcry, was seen as an attempt to muzzle reporting on last year's crackdown by Myanmar security forces on the Muslim Rohingya minority in Rakhine State. Army-led clearance operations drove 700,000 Rohingya into Bangladesh, carrying with them widespread accounts of atrocities, rape, murder, and arson by Myanmar police and troops. The reporters say they were set up while exposing the extrajudicial killing of 10 Rohingya Muslims in a Rakhine village last year. Clooney, wife of Hollywood A-lister George, announced in March that she would join the legal team representing the journalists. Coming up, the Iglesia Ni Cristo and the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation's Blood Drive helps the Long Beach community. Eagle News Washington, D.C. will return shortly. This is Eagle News, Washington, D.C. I am Rose Papa Angeles. Did you know that donating blood does not only mean you're helping others who need it, but also decreasing one's chances of having a heart attack? Eagle News correspondent June Reynoso takes us to Long Beach, California, where he learns the benefits of donating blood at the Iglesia Ni Cristo and the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation Blood Drive. Take a look.
Every 2 seconds that pass by, an individual in the United States is in need of blood. So residents from Long Beach, California and neighboring cities gather together to donate blood to give back to the community.
Now I too will be donating blood, and yes, I'm slightly nervous, but it's all for a good cause, right? Like, why is it beneficial to donate blood anyway?
Well, for all people, ultimately the most important thing is you're saving up to 3 lives each time you donate. So this is the best way you could help your community. For men, it's very important to donate. There's studies that suggest that men that donate at least once a year will reduce their chances of heart attack and stroke by at least 70%. So for men, it's a wonderful way to help yourself. But ultimately, the most important thing is 3 people get help. And there is no other way to repair your community, but by saving lives, this is the best thing you could do for you.
What happens to the blood once it is donated?
So if you see, there's not a lot of people on this side of the section, but the whole blood donation, where we just take a full pint of your blood, is going to be sent to the lab. They're going to run a rigorous test through it, make sure it's good to be used for the community. Then they separate the components of the blood. So we say you save 3 people's lives because when it gets separated, 1 person will receive the platelets, another will receive the red blood cells, and a 3rd person will receive the plasma. So it's a wonderful way to, again,
That's
3
great.
people, not just 1. For men, you're even helping yourself. So it's a win-win situation for everybody involved.
Who qualifies to donate blood?
Well, if you're 17 years of age or older, you qualify for blood. There's a lot of things that can exclude you, but if you're 17 years old and you're healthy, I highly suggest you go to your local blood bank and try to donate blood. Everybody qualifies. All blood is good blood.
Now that I know that all blood is good blood, that definitely relieves me of my nervousness. But I still wonder, why would others choose to donate blood?
So donating blood, it's always been something that I would do once or twice every year. And it's just something that I look at as a way to help. And that's just one of the things that every year that's been driving me to always donate blood.
I chose to donate blood today because, first of all, it's one of the church activities. And of course, we have to be united in everything that we do. And would like to help our fellow man, which is also the commandment of our Almighty God.
That's great.
Okay. Yeah.
So, how did you feel before and after you donated blood?
Well, before I donated blood before, it was also a church activity. So I was just, I don't remember how I felt that time.
How'd you feel this time?
Well, I mean, after I donated blood, I felt kind of lightheaded. But, I'm just happy that I was able to participate in this activity with brothers and sisters in the church.
That's great. So I'm sure you ate a lot of food right after.
Yes, they try to feed me.
I'm pretty used to it, so before going into it, I was already well aware of everything that was going to happen, so I was okay then. In between and all the way through the end and after, I was completely fine.
Why would you recommend someone to donate their blood?
Well, I mean, it's definitely, even if you're not directly helping anybody, it's a way to help out people and save lives. It's a lot of people say that, or a lot of people in the world, they need to do blood transfusions or, any sort of work with blood, and this can help many people. And it's just something to give in a way. Maybe you won't be giving, your recognition, no one's gonna know it's you, but it's just something that makes you feel good because you can really help out people even if you don't know who they are.
I would recommend others to donate blood because it helps people.
Being in this room full of professional medical staff and supportive people definitely gets my heart pumping and going, motivating me to want to donate again.
So get up and donate today. Your efforts will not be in vain. Reporting from the blood donation event here in Long Beach, California, I'm June Reynoso, and I am always one with 25.
Thanks, June. That is today's Eagle News, Washington, D.C. Join us tomorrow for stories that matter to you. Visit our websites at eaglenews.ph and eaglenewslive.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/eaglenewsph. Thank you for watching. I am Rose Papa Angeles, and I am 1 with 25.